I'm sure, like banks all over the world, they take your money and they go speculate with it, and they lose a lot of it, and then they rely on bailouts. And when the bailouts stop, then you try to get it out, there's nothing there.
Hey guys, welcome back to Library of Wealth. Today we have Bitcoin maximalist Max Keiser on the scams occurring in the crypto industry today. Keiser sees that all the altcoiners are milking markets, then moving far afield to economies that haven't heard of what's been occurring in these sectors. Keiser believes that the nature of man is to create a fake coin used to take money from someone so they can buy Bitcoin. Keiser has noticed that sticking with Bitcoin was an excellent move for El Salvador as their business is off the charts, and that stepping out of the Bitcoin space is inviting a world of pain. Let's watch Max Keiser on the Max and STACY report as he gives us his take on all things Bitcoin and what we can expect in the current volatile crypto market. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content we do here on this channel. Let's get right into the video.
You see these people in Lebanon have had their funds, their wealth, their money, they thought was money, but it's obviously not money if it could be seized like that and frozen and kept by somebody else. They're seizing their own money because it's been frozen for a year.
Yeah, like we say, only keep money in the bank that you're willing to lose. A lot of people don't understand legally that when you put money or cash or currency into the bank, it becomes the property of the bank. And this is demonstrated in Lebanon. In no uncertain terms, people don't have access to their own money because the banks in Lebanon, I'm sure, like banks all over the world, they take your money and they go speculate with it, and they lose a lot of it, and then they rely on bailouts. And when the bailouts stop, then you try to get it out, there's nothing there. So this is really a continuation, Stacey. I was thinking about this. This all started, back with Occupy Wall Street, if you recall. The movement of activism pointed at the banks, and we need to do something about the banks. Nothing was done. We keep going through these crises where the banks are acting poorly, acting badly, acting against the interests of the population. And now we're at the point where you see in Lebanon where people are saying, we're not going to protest anymore. We're going down there armed looking for our money.
Well, it brings up a number of things. First of all, it was hyperinflation, which caused this banking crisis there. So they have their own unique situation and own unique, similar to here, of a sort of post-imperial constitution imposed upon the population, whereby, three sects get to run the whole country, and they can't lose that position. They get a certain share of running, it's proof of stake, right? They have a proof of stake in the system where they get 30% of the economy, they get 30% of the political power, and corruption ensues, right?
Keiser states that all Sango coin has done for the Central African Republic is facilitate the ability for colonizers to steal their natural resources. They say that it has something to do with Bitcoin, which is untrue. He goes on to say that if the CAR wanted to join the elite class of hard money, they would have simply gone with Bitcoin. Because they lack the fortitude to stick with the dominant crypto asset, they'll end up paying the price.
What we've seen is that corruption has led, in a time of deglobalization and de-dollarization, to hyperinflation. A lot of people thought they were protecting themselves from hyperinflation by holding US dollars instead in their bank account. But of course, the central government doesn't want to lose their US dollars when you withdraw it all. So there's it's a ridiculous amount, like $50 a day or something like that, that they're allowed to even take out of their own bank account. Whether or not they have hundreds of thousands or not, they can only take $50. A lot of people, especially in the United States and the United Kingdom and Europe and Australia and New Zealand, they've really lived quite well, really lived like aristocrats over the past 2 years of getting to stay at home all day and seemingly just free money, all this proof of stake. They are the biggest economies in the world, so they have a bigger stake in this fiat system, and they get more airdrops sent to them at home. And so they feel like this is going to continue, right? Most people feel like this is the sort of state of existence that they're going to have for the next few years. And this woman in Lebanon probably thought like she had built up whatever wealth she had, and that was going to protect her and be hers to use, but she never owned that wealth.
Right. The key phrase there being hyperinflation. So the currency lost 90% of its value recently. So the purchasing power of that money trending toward zero. And this is something we know from Venezuela, the images of paper money littering the streets. Is this trend of hyperinflation going to spread globally? Well, remember Jack Dorsey recently made a big point on Twitter calling that current policies would lead to hyperinflation. And there was a lot of jawboning and chin wagging amongst the intelligentsia that he was misusing the word hyperinflation and we might have a little inflation. And of course, now we're seeing a lot of inflation and we're seeing admission by policymakers that they believe they may have reached a point in the cycle where they simply can't stop the inflation with raising rates. Because this is only debasing the currency by dismantling the economy at a rate faster than they can print. And this is a recipe for hyperinflation. And what we're seeing in Lebanon could start a global contagion.
The hyperinflation, all of the money printing you've seen from the biggest central banks in the world is theft, is confiscation. A lot of people, even if you don't have your money in a bank, Max, because you're saying like if this woman had kept her money at home, she would still have it. But still, it was being stolen every single day because she had what she thought like the dollar was safer. Certainly it is safer than the Lebanese, I think, pound. What the difference is between a gold standard, a Bitcoin standard that you have to put energy in, actually, mine the coins, mine the new wealth, that there's no quintillionaire at the top. They can't just print up new wealth randomly and capriciously and decide to bail out those people or rescue those people, let those 200 million people work from home while those other people over there have to work for a hyperinflating currency to provide the goods and services for those people working from home. True independence comes through a proof of work because obviously being a neo-feudal slave or neo-feudal serf, as he points out, is not any sort of indication of having true independence.
All right, and this topic has become a hot topic because people want Bitcoin to move from proof of work to proof of stake. And the conversation around that is really bizarre because the proof of stake system is the system that got everybody into trouble and why people are holding up banks to get their own money back in Lebanon. Proof of work solves all those problems. Proof of work is the solution for a proof of stake system, whether it's in the altcoin market or the fiat money world system or even the gold system, that failed to work, failed to offer sovereignty to individuals. A point that was understood by El Salvador that said, we're going to bestow individual sovereignty to our 7 million here in the country by making Bitcoin legal tender. And that's why El Salvador became the hope of the world. The city, the shining city on a hill is now El Salvador.
Keiser also believes that the importance of today's inflation is that the US gets to print money and seize the resources of other regions for free. The Central African Republic President Touadéra says that Sango will be the gateway to their natural resources. Touadéra has also announced that these resources, including petroleum, diamonds, and copper, will soon be tokenized. Keiser believes that this is an altcoin and that there is no proof of work or stake behind it. Keiser adds that the problem today is that there is a lot of wealth being generated but no work. The absence of work creates an environment of lawlessness and plunder. What do you guys think about Max Keiser's opinion on Bitcoin and the effect it will have on the CAR's move to introduce Sango as their main currency? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Library of Wealth. We'll see you in the next video.